Let me restart. Hello again, welcome. Thank y'all so much for coming to today's event with ACM-W featuring HEB. Today we'll be having a little information session on the day in the life of HEB Digital, and we have quite a few guest speakers today. So this will be a panel version, and if you have any questions, go ahead during this event. Go ahead and raise your hand, or go ahead and ask my officers the questions. They will text it to me, and I will go ahead and read the question over here. So officers, can you all raise your hand real quick? So yeah, sweet, sweet. So with that being stated, we're going to go ahead and get started with today's meeting. So if you're new to ACM, if this is your first time here, I highly encourage y'all to sign up to become a member. By becoming a member, you will be able to earn free swag and giveaways, such as these free giveaways that we have right now, courtesy of HEB. So aside from that, we have a bunch of sponsors this year, such as HEB and Valero and Paycom, and they have access to our database. And by signing up, you are given the option to put your resume in that database, and these companies can go ahead and look at that resume and recruit you from there. Aside from that, in previous years, membership used to be $20 a year. Now it is absolutely free. So I encourage y'all to become a member. But for everyone who is a member, go ahead and scan that QR code. By scanning the QR code, we'll be able to keep track of the events that y'all are attending. And by doing so, you will be invited to our special event at the end of the semester. So this event is only going to be accessible for our members. And the way to get invited to this event is to attend at least 15% of our meetings. So yeah, this is the way you can sign in. But as y'all are scanning those QR codes and filling in those blanks, here are some upcoming events that we have. So on the week of November the 1st, we're going to have a career in cybersecurity featuring Dr. Chu. Dr. Chu is an amazing speaker. He is very renowned within the ACM community nationally, not just in UTSA, and he has a bunch of publications. If you don't know what cybersecurity is, or you want to learn a little bit more and, get out there and learn some more, this is your opportunity to come and learn from one of our amazing guest speakers. On the 18th, we'll be having a general meeting, and this general meeting is still in the works. But aside from that, on December the 2nd, we will be having a Christmas social. So if you want to do some cool Christmas decoration ornaments, I highly encourage y'all to come. It is free. So, to keep up to date with all of these events and more, y'all can follow us on our Instagram page right here at the bottom at acmw.utsa, or on our Twitter, acmw_UTSA. Now, here are some opportunities for this week. This weekend, ICPC is having their weekly intercollegiate programming contest competition or training. In these workshops, you will be able to learn Python skills, and a bunch of the questions that they use are given by interviewees or interviewers who, whenever you apply to an internship, you're probably going to be given a question that has been featured here. So if you want to learn more, if you want to bump up your programming skills, even if you don't know programming at all, you're welcome to attend this meeting. It is on Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. They have free donuts and or free burritos. You don't lose anything, and you'll be able to learn. In addition to all of this weekend, we have Code Quantum. Code Quantum is San Antonio's and UTSA's first marginalized gender-focused hackathon, and we have some amazing corporations and companies sponsoring us, such as HEB, Google, Valero, Paycom. And if you do participate, keep in mind that this is also open for beginners. So if you don't have any coding competition or coding experience whatsoever, this is your time to shine. And, come learn something new. Come add it to your resume. Stand out in comparison to your other peers. Once again, it is free. There will be prizes. The first place winner for both the general and the novice track will be a Nintendo Switch. So come win, y'all. Y'all got this. Last but not least, HEB has given us the opportunity to give y'all internship opportunities such as these. If you're interested in cybersecurity, data solutions, IT technology, software engineering, systems developers, UI UX design, so go ahead and scan this QR code, and by doing so, you will be eligible to apply for their summer 2022 digital internships. So if you're interested, go ahead and scan that QR code, and I will leave it up for a few more moments. If you did not get the chance to scan any of these codes, come to me at the end of the meeting, and we'll get that settled with. But with all of this information being stated, I'm going to go ahead and bring in our guest speakers for today. So these speakers are from HEB and they come from a variety of backgrounds, and they're here to talk to you a little bit more about what HEB does and do. So without further ado, I'm going to go give it away to Donna. Oh, sorry about that. Hey Nico, can you?
Great. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes, you are good.
Okay, awesome. Sorry about that. Without fail, there's always, whenever I start a meeting, my dogs immediately start barking. It's like they know. But sorry about that. Hi, everybody. My name is Dana Dietz, and I am a campus recruiter with HEB here in San Antonio. We're very excited to be here talking with y'all today, as well as be participating and sponsoring the Code Quantum Hackathon this weekend. And I do have some partners I've brought with me today. We're going to be talking to you guys a little bit about what it means to work in tech at HEB. We call it digital. So anything tech related at HEB falls within our digital department. So I have some really amazing partners. They're going to be really sharing their insights, their stories, their advice about not only working at HEB, but just being a female, an underrepresented minority in technology. And so I'm very, very excited. Obviously, most all of you know HEB. It's very hard to live in San Antonio, go to school here, and not know HEB. So I won't go into too much background to give you guys the full rundown of HEB since you're familiar. But obviously, we're headquartered here in San Antonio. We've been a part of Texas homes and communities since 1905, and we're always dedicated to providing great service to Texans, to our communities, and we always make sure that we're putting people first. So it's a really amazing place. It's a really amazing company culture, and I hope you guys learn a lot today, and kind of start to think about HEB as you're looking at your internships and looking at full-time opportunities. Kind of look at HEB beyond just your favorite grocery store, and really maybe think about and explore an opportunity to come and join us. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys have throughout this time about the the internship, but I want to really dedicate this time that we have with you guys for the next about 45 minutes. Like I said, from listening to our partners. I'm going to have a couple questions that I'm going to be asking our partners, but as Joshua said, please, if you have questions, we definitely encourage questions from the audience. We want to make sure that you guys are also being involved in this conversation, and that we're gearing this talk towards topics that you guys really want to learn more about. So with that, I am going to turn it over to my partners. If y'all can come off of mute, introduce yourselves to the students, just give a little bit of background, what it is that you do at HEB, and kind of why and how you ended up working at HEB. So I am going to turn it over to Marcella, if you want to go first.
Hi guys, so my name is Marcella. I am a recent UTSA graduate, actually. I just graduated in May, so yeah, and I'm a software engineer for HEB, of course, and I'm working for the comms team. Comms stands for Common Order Management System. You can think of it as sort of the middleware that orchestrates e-commerce orders from when they're created to closure. So everything from curbside, let's say, and everything in between. Yeah, we manage that. What else? I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for having me. Oh yeah, I had FOMO. I was like, I miss ACM a lot from back in college. So I'm very happy to be back as a speaker. I don't know if you want me to pass it to someone else. Oh, Megan. Hi.
Hi.
Megan.
Hi.
Give me the floor.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, hi. Very big. Hi, I'm Megan Tannehill. I'm a software engineer at HEB. I've been in software for 10 years. I work on a back-end team at HEB. I'm a tech lead for team and inventory and location management. It's all back-end, specifically like services and applications and data that are used to power a partner, curbside, and even iOS, some data in the iOS My HEB application. So specifically, we work with floor plan data, and it's really fun. And we have some new cool stuff coming out pretty soon too that you're going to see in your My HEB app, specifically like store maps and product location stuff. So, but that's mainly what I work on in software engineering. So, the next person can go. So,
that'll be me. Hello, runners. I'm super excited to be with you today. My name is Ivanova, and I lead the enterprise data science team at HEB. Our job is to solve the most difficult HEB problems using machine learning, artificial intelligence, deep learning, and optimization. We focus on working on different problems from forecast and replenishment, inventory replenishment in our stores, pricing for e-commerce, brick and mortar. We also work on building the algorithms that determine routing from curbside to our customers, using computer vision and a lot of technology. And I will pass it to Dana.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, I really appreciate all of the partners being here today. I'm really excited for us to dive into this conversation. So each of you, obviously, you introduced yourselves, but I wanted you guys to share maybe a little bit of insight into, as women, what really sparked your interest in the tech industry, and then what really kind of sparked your interest in working at HEB in digital, in tech. So you guys can kind of share a little bit of your kind of how you got to where you are today.
I'm trying to look back and sort of think my entire career, like my build up to where I am right now, was sort of an entire game of snakes and ladders. It took me a while to realize I actually wanted to get my computer science major, but I've always had a passion to create stuff, and I think a big part of it was surrounding myself with really good people who were in tech, and they sort of brought me into the dark side. And it was a very interesting process, from going to school and attending all the events I could, talking to recruiters and applying, and LinkedIn workshops, resume workshops. It was a whole process. I don't know. It was sort of all over the place, but to summarize it, it was just yeah, just working on my computer science degree and stalking recruiters on LinkedIn and applying and getting an internship, and then ending up as a full-time software engineer. That was sort of a process for me.
Hi. For me, I started out with a math background and I wanted to go into tech because I wanted to work on stuff that made a difference. So I was totally self-taught in the beginning and transitioned from math to tech in software, and then just worked on interesting projects as I went. Working for HEB has been really important to me because I want any kind of project or anything that I'm working on to have real importance and meaning, and that is a huge culture and part of HEB. I come from a nonprofit background before in software, and so HEB has been like a huge fit for that because I know they care about the communities around them, and we do so much work for that. So that's why I specifically wanted to work at HEB in software. That's it for me.
Thank you so much, Megan. I wish that we could all be in a room so we can share. It is laggy, so I apologize for that. But please let me know in the comments you have a problem hearing me. So my journey.
Oh,
Having having a hard time hearing you. Hopefully we didn't lose Billiana. May have.
Yeah.
No? Yes. Well, hopefully Billiana is able to
cover my days back in the
Oh,
technical difficulties.
data. Essentially,
We could go on to the next question, Dina, if you want.
I think so, yeah. That'd probably be best. Hopefully she's able to hop back in. But the next question that I wanted us to kind of talk about and share with the students. So obviously, being women in tech, we often hear about this struggle with, some degree of imposter syndrome. So can you guys talk about, like, have you ever felt that you were not good enough or not technical enough to be where you are? And like, how did you
so I
handle
get
that?
a lot of kickoff contributing to the open English.
Oh. I think her audio is really reaching us.
Yeah.
Oh.
So can you guys just talk a little bit about, like I said, like give an example that you kind of dealt with and struggled with imposter syndrome, and your work in your internship in school?
Sure. I mean, imposter syndrome, I had never heard of it until I went to an ACM event. It applies to absolutely everyone and in every single field, like no matter what it is. And I definitely felt it a lot during college, but I feel like once you start learning, it definitely helps build your confidence. But it went from college, during college, it definitely built it up, but then you start your internship and you're like, oh, this is completely different, and it sort of comes back. But I think one of the best ways that worked for me was communicating to my team about it. And everyone at HEB is so nice. I am so lucky to be in the team that I am, because everyone's been so helpful, and they definitely let me know that they even feel it sometimes. and it's sort of always going to be there, but you should not let it affect you, because you're very much in control. And if you keep working on yourself and building yourself up as an individual, it's definitely, what's the word for it, you minimize the effect on you.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, even right now that I just started my position, I still feel it sometimes, but then I remember who I'm working with and that what they've told me and how they still feel it. So just know that you're not alone. We all feel it, and you guys will be fine.
Yeah. I don't think it ever goes away. I think you're never going to be the smartest person in the room, and you're never going to know everything. And that can be really difficult no matter your position. And as you progress through your career and your responsibilities grow, you have imposter syndrome at every level you get to, especially when you're the only woman in a room. That's what happens. So I think just knowing, like, as Marcella said, knowing that you're there for a reason and that you're surrounded by a good people that will help you and let you grow, and especially somewhere like HEB that's really into helping you grow in your career. So that's a big thing. And then you just always have to be like, no, push that voice down and believe in yourself and have confidence and grow and learn, because that's all you're always going to be constantly growing and learning throughout your entire career. So it never stops.
Okay. This is a new.
I know.
A little bit.
Oh.
I think we're gonna lose her.
No, I think we're still having problems, Liliana. I'm not sure if you can hear us.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next question. I really appreciate you guys sharing that and like that insight. I know that can be difficult, and I think that is very true. I think it doesn't matter. It's not just in tech. I think it's everywhere. There's always going to be a bit of a, feeling imposter syndrome, especially as you're in early career, going in, especially when you're thinking about going into an internship. It's incredibly intimidating. You're surrounded by people who've been in the industry for, years and years and years. And I think that's also too a really important thing to keep in mind is that's also why we provide peer mentors, right? Is it kind of helps give you that a little bit of like, okay, somebody who's on my page, on my same level, they're not far ahead of me. And so they can definitely provide that kind of support as well, to help kind of ease those nerves. So can you talk about a challenge that you faced as you were, maybe Marcella, as you were looking at different opportunities and kind of, trying to figure out what it is that you wanted to do, or Megan, can you talk about, a challenge that you have faced in the past, I think in terms of, trying to figure out how do I continue growing my career as a woman in tech, and, kind of how you guys overcame some of those challenges?
One of the biggest challenges that I had ever, I feel like to this day, had to face, besides having to graduate in the middle or finish my senior year in college, I when I was at UTSA, I was very much I did not know yet what I really wanted to do. And I believe that the source of that was, well, I'll get to that, but I did not do well in calculus. And this is every time I used to, anyways. I did not do well in calculus to the point where I was actually academically dismissed for a semester, because it was just, I couldn't keep up with anything. But that semester, I took the time to fully invest into myself, and that one semester that UTSA was like, no, like you can come back next semester, but right now, like, go get it together. And during that semester, I became a calculus tutor because I got so invested into just being better. So I became a calculus tutor, and I started just coding every day and keeping myself sane. And then I came back, and I finished my computer science major. And yeah, I think that definitely, like, it changed my perspective of failure that I did not see before. So I definitely grew from it, and I love telling that story because it definitely, I met people who went through the same thing, and it's crazy how whenever you go through that, you think you're the only one, but you're not. So yeah, by far. Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah, sure. I think for me, some of the biggest challenges I've faced are just having the confidence to speak up. It's really easy sometimes to be in a room of 20 people and with a lot of big personalities, and they all have ideas and they're going back and forth and trying to, like, you have an idea that you want to contribute to and not feeling like you can get that in because everyone's just, and that's kind of where some of like the imposter syndrome can play in, where you don't think your idea is good enough, so you don't say anything. I think finding ways to speak up, even if you can't cut through a crowd, like on Zoom, I'll raise a little like emoji sometimes, and that, or just trying to get in when you can, because your opinion is valid and it's important. And sometimes it's you're coming from a different mindset, given your background, and it's important for there to be different ideas. One idea is not the right idea. Usually it's a combo. And so just for me, learning to speak up and have my voice heard and have like believe in myself. So many times. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you both for sharing. And ditto, I think it's very inspirational, Marcella, what you went through and how you overcame it. And I think to Megan's point, it can be uncomfortable. And I think it's just like the more and more we do it, and so hopefully, again, maybe you guys are learning, or you obviously have heard about HEB, but it's definitely a culture that, we really, really try to support each other, and really kind of build that into the fabric of who we are, is really caring about our partners and, just making sure that everybody kind of has an equal opportunity at the table. So HEBs, that's one of the things that we're really known for, is having a very strong and positive culture. And I think all of us here, we could sit here and share like a million amazing stories about HEB, and you've probably heard some, you've probably been on the news, or maybe you have your own personal experience, or maybe some of you've actually worked at HEB before, as your first job, or, while you're in school. But there's countless stories about the great things that HEB has done, or the people have done. So I kind of want to turn it over to Marcella and to Megan. What has been the best thing that you love about working at HEB? And then, like, what has been the most surprising thing that you guys have found about working at HEB?
I've been with HEB since maybe 6 months, and you just do not stop learning about it. There was so much that I didn't know. I didn't know how huge it was, and it's just amazing how and then the people are just so happy whenever you speak to them. I went to the Arsenal, even like the security guards, everyone's so nice, and the environment is very friendly. And whenever I was looking for a job, it was something that I definitely prioritized, because it's important to work in a good environment, and HEB definitely provides that for you, and not only to its employees, but they're incredibly involved with the community, just volunteering left and right. And whenever I was going through the beginning you get to meet so many speakers and hear their stories. And we're just hearing stories about all the crises that they had gone through, like through Hurricane Harvey, or even the snowstorm that happened. Like it's incredible how they managed to just do so much and stay calm. And the communication, of course, is a very big part of it. So it is, I don't know, I love HEB. To summarize it. What about you, Megan?
Well, I've been at HEB for 3 years, and I think my favorite thing about HEB, and the thing that has been different based on other places that I've worked in the past in software and in tech, is that there's a level of support and mentoring here that I haven't found in the past. I've started at a level 3 years ago in software and have risen and now lead a team in multiple applications, and I've never had that level of support anywhere else, that my voice was heard and it was valid, and also that the leadership understood that, and they listen to you. It sounds kind of like maybe it's a low bar for someone to listen to your ideas, but HEB has met that bar and more. So I found a lot of great female and male mentors here in the industry, and there's always this idea of, even if you're not in a entry-level program, to pair you with mentors. Anybody across HEB is willing to be your mentor. You can ask your manager to find you a mentor, as mine has done many times, and that's probably my favorite part of HEB. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And I echo the sentiments of both Megan and Marcella about how great it is. And it's also a fun place. I mean, we get to do lots of fun partner events. We're starting to do some very, socially responsible, but
yeah, I miss the food trucks.
I'm excited for the food trucks.
Yeah.
Food trucks at the Arsenal, and I think they're starting to do puppy and coffee days.
And then the yoga.
They do yoga. We do cooking classes. Tomorrow they're showing Hocus Pocus, a family event at the Arsenal. So it's definitely a really fun place to work. And a lot of companies, they say oh, look at all these cool perks that we have, and HEB really does that, but they really also encourage a great work-life balance. So very, very much, again, the culture is something that Marcella brought this up, but it was very important to me as well when I was looking for companies, and I really prioritized that because you do spend a lot of time with your work family, and so you want to enjoy what you do. And to Megan's point, you want to make sure that the work that you do really makes a difference. And what is more essential than obviously groceries. So I want to kind of switch gears a little bit. So now that you guys have learned a little bit about the culture, maybe some of y'all knew that, or you have family that works at HEB. So I kind of want to switch and just dive in a little bit and talk kind of specifically about digital and the areas that Megan and Marcella that you guys work in. So can you share with the students, what it is exactly that your area of digital is, what does your team do, and kind of how does that, directly impact a customer? So kind of how does it fit into the bigger, broader picture at HEB?
Mm-hmm. Well, comms works mostly in the back end. Like we said, we orchestrate the orders that are made for curbside and such. We are sort of the applications that our partners use on the stores to look at your order and pick up the items from the shelves. Or personally, I'm working on an application, a dashboard that displays everything to make sure that everything works correctly, because there's so much in between. And I'm still learning about comms. It's so broad, and it's very interesting. Just that there's so much goes on the back end that I hadn't taken under consideration. And even the smallest things, like we've had full on like hour-long discussions about coupons or just things like that. Like, how does this apply? Like add-ons, like whenever people change their orders or things like that. Everything in between, we have to manage it to make sure that you get your order correctly and just the way you want it delivered to you. So yeah, but every day I'm still learning about it because it's very broad. Yeah.
So I work in kind of a back-end middle team, and we serve data to partner applications where, like inside, like curbside is picking orders, that's a partner application, right? The customer doesn't see the application that curbside is picking on. But we also serve data to the customer applications, meaning like you place an order on the MyHEB app, you know, the order goes through comms, and then, but some of the data that is powering the MyHEB comes from us. So some of the stuff that I've worked on is reinventing assortment, meaning what you see on the website. There's assortment historically has been really old and out of date, and it's still not great, but it's getting better. And I, you know, so I worked on that application, was the tech lead for that one. I've also worked on curbside sequencing. So we took the map of the store, we did kind of traveling salesperson, efficient routing on top of the map, created an efficient route for that, and then we serve that up to curbside. And we actually are serving that up to the customer as well. They just can't see it in the back end through shopping list. So taking these data, making the data better, and then serving that up to the applications that we need is basically what I work on right now. So, and the next thing that's coming really soon, store maps on your MyHEB app. I'm just going to advertise it a little, right? If you're in, we're about to go to 20 stores on store maps. So if you're on your MyHEB app, you pull up product details. Next to like the little product information, there's going to be a little button that says view product location, and you click that and you're going to get a map. You can zoom in with your fingers. There's going to be a pin where that product is on the store. It's a huge deal. We've been working on it for a long time. I'm really proud of it. We're going to try to go to all stores by the end of the year. So that's another thing that our team has worked on. So.
That's amazing. I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, it's great. It's in one store right now. If you're in New Braunfels at the MB3, which is an HEB Plus, then you can see it on for that store right now.
Oh, nice. This is one thing for everybody, for the students. If you didn't know this, there's a lot of, like Marcella said, there's a lot of like little fun facts about HEB. And one of those I didn't know until I started at HEB was that no store is the same. So every single HEB store is completely different. So I have my HEB that I go to here in San Antonio. But sometimes, you know, if you're at a different one, at a different location or a different city, you know, where you're like, I don't know, where a particular dressing that you like is, it could be in a completely different location in this other HEB. So with the MyHEB app, you can actually change your store and it'll tell you exactly like what aisle it is, like no matter the store. So I think the maps is going to be a huge thing because the HEB app is like helped me out time and time again. So I'm very excited.
I am too. We've been working on this for a while. So
yeah, definitely. So I mean, one of the things too that I always like when I talk to people about digital at HEB, you know, it really makes me very proud because especially coming out of a pandemic, you know, I mean, I think it definitely changed the way that a lot of people shopped for groceries or people felt comfortable shopping for groceries and even thinking about, you know, those populations that were high risk and they couldn't go into the store, but they'd never used an app before. So, you know, trying to figure out ways to make sure that, you know, we're able to serve our communities and serve our customers. And so that means constantly like innovating, you know, I mean, that the pandemic is just one example. Obviously, HEB has been innovating for over 100 years and, you know, hopefully we'll continue to innovate for the next 100 years and the next 100 years after that. So there's just a lot of really cool things going on at HEB Digital. So Yeah, well, I really appreciate Megan, Marcella, y'all giving your insight into HEB. I want to be able to open it up to the students. If you guys have some questions, please don't be shy. If you want to ask us anything, feel free.
What sparked our interest in the tech industry? Well, like I think I mentioned earlier, I had like I really wanted. I had this thing for creating stuff, like physical stuff, like or just drawings or whatever. I just like creating stuff from scratch, cooking even like. And I sort of shifted that into software. That's what worked for me. How I started, like how I got sort of introduced to computer science was by the people, like by people that I met, just networking and them being like computer science, like, and I was like, what is that? And it just went from there. So that was it for me. And of course, you guys probably know, like just the feeling of your software compiling, or it just definitely, I became sort of like a little addicted to just that. Just creating stuff and having it work, and the idea that like Megan and me and pretty much our teams are creating applications that are going to be used by like thousands of people. And even in Mexico, like it's hard to wrap your head around it sometimes, because whenever someone actually told me that, I was like, that hadn't even crossed my mind. So it's really fun and to have that in mind too. But yeah, definitely something that I enjoy.
Sweet, that's awesome. So I hope that y'all can hear me at the moment, but we actually do have a question from one of our members over here. So
What's up?
Hi, I'm Rodrigo.
Hi, Rodrigo.
I wanted to ask about I'm a Mexican international student, and I wanted to ask, since it's specifically HEB, which has stores in Mexico, would being like familiar would like infrastructure uh mm, would the same technical infrastructure here also apply to there, so like it could prove advantageous to someone to be familiarized with like the Mexican HEB stores?
So yeah, so part of ILM actually has partners that live in Mexico, and Mexico is split into the Mexico stores and then the HEB stores. But there are partners in Mexico that work on applications for HEB stores. And while there's not a lot of cross right now between software on Mexico software stores and HEB stores, there are partners that live and work in both places that work on both of them. So if that helps.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your stories as well.
No, of course. Also, I have a question for you. Where are you from? Like
Torreón.
Torreón. Yo soy de Monterrey.
Cool.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I'm majoring in computer science, but I'm concentrating in cyber operations, and I was wondering how kind of HEB's cyber area and what that all entails.
I mean, security is a big thing right now. I know that they're putting a lot of money into the security team, and they're hiring a lot of new partners in that area. And I think it's always going to be something that's top of mind whenever you're talking about data, proprietary data, but also customer data, and making sure that that data is safe, and that we are very careful with our customer data, and we don't want it being, a problem. So I don't know much about it. I just know that there is a big part of the org that does it.
Mm-hmm. And we go through a lot of, like, even to access your GitLab, you have to go through like 3 different things.
True.
Thank you.
Of course.
Oh, we lost them.
Major programming languages. My team specifically works with Scala a lot. We're shifting to that language, but I've met people in other teams that use Python or other things. So it depends on I believe your team. We sort of use a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it's totally team dependent, and there's Java teams, there's Python teams, there's Haskell teams, there's teams that are doing applications in Oracle and Postgres in GCP and AWS, like everywhere. I think if the technology exists, I bet HEB is using it. So
yeah.
Which one thing I like is that as a team, you have the ability and autonomy to make decisions about architecture and languages that are going to solve your problems, which is the most important thing. You're trying to solve a problem and you want to pick the technology that's going to solve that. So it's one other thing that I like about HEB.
Mm-hmm. My favorite Apper team. What do you mean, favorite Apper team? I've worked with one team, and it's comms, and they're great.
Yeah, I think what tends to happen is the longer at HEB, I've been here 3 years, and you just get to work on a lot of different projects. I think it also depends on the team. So for me, my favorite stuff is the stuff I'm working on now, which is more floor plan related. So.
Mm-hmm. And you definitely, one of the things that they do let you know is that they do move engineers around. Like Megan said, if I stay with HEB for a few years, I'm definitely going to be in different teams and applications. But for right now, I'm in my first one.
Yeah, that's another good thing is people move around, and it's not a bad thing. It's good to get different experience and see the business, and you get bored working on one application, so it's nice to be able to move. So.
Hello, my name's Izzy. My question is, what advice would you give someone applying to a internship position at HEB?
Let's see. Well, whenever I was applying for internships, I applied to so many. I was applying left and right, like everywhere. But of course, HEB was definitely somewhere where I wanted to work. And they wouldn't get back to me, so I had to like go on LinkedIn and message recruiters and be like, "Hey, I've applied like 3 times," and like that's pretty much how that happened. And of course, I attended these events, and I was like, "Hi, I messaged you on LinkedIn." That I just had to. I mean, that's what worked for me, and I'm hopefully they'll do that. But
Yeah.
that's how I managed to get my internship. And actually, I got my my interview was in the middle of the snowstorm. So yeah, it was crazy. I was sleep deprived because I was so cold and like we had no heat. But I was like, "Hi, give me a job."
There was a network outage during Snowbit. It was a very big call.
Yeah, it was. I was lucky, like that I even got on the internet. So that's a whole nother story.
I will definitely say, just as a campus recruiter, to give perspective, yes, I mean, we receive thousands and thousands and thousands of applications for, the limited internship roles that we have. So to Marcella's point, it's great whenever we do something like this, we do these events, and like a student will reach out and say, "Hey, I applied, you came and talked, or like I met you at the career fair." It just really, again, it kind of helps set you apart a little bit and kind of, makes us realize like, oh, hey, they're really interested and or they were paying attention. And so I mean, don't feel afraid. Definitely feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn if you guys haven't already. I'm more than happy to chat with y'all.
Thank you.
Who wants to take this one? I'll just say great ones.
Yeah, they're great. And they have, yeah, the healthcare is great. Also, they have all these clinics, Magenta clinics, that are very HEBC to get appointments, and you don't have to like wade through the doctors as much. So that's really nice. So, but I bet Dana knows even more.
I mean, obviously, benefits, they may change year over year, but HEB definitely has very competitive benefit package. So of course we do provide, complete healthcare coverage for our partners, as well as there's other great benefits too. We get great discounts at HEB stores. We have amazing stock plans, and like time off, vacation, volunteering, maternity leave, paternity leave. There's just tons of things, tons of great benefits that HEB does have. And so that's available not for the interns. Interns, unfortunately, don't receive those types of benefits, but our full-time employees definitely do. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is that for me?
I mean,
I feel like I had my doubts, and it doesn't matter. I don't know why I was like this, but like I said, thankfully I had really good people around me. I had a really good group of friends, and who were like, can you get it together? Like, you're smart. Like, you're like, you're okay. Don't feel discouraged. There was actually this one time where I genuinely didn't think that I was gonna get this, kind of maybe off topic, but my Grace Hopper, I didn't even want to apply because I was like, I can't, like, I'm not good at coding yet, and I didn't apply. And then the next year I applied and I like got in. So it was you're always gonna doubt yourself, I feel like. Well, at least for me, I definitely had my doubts, but just know that you don't have to know absolutely everything. And you learn throughout the internship too. So don't feel discouraged about it.
Yeah, definitely. Just keep in mind you're always going to be learning. Software moves really fast. You're never going to be 100% ready for anything, and you just kind of have to take the leap and have confidence that you can learn it, because you're probably not going to know it and that you're going to have to just keep learning and forever, and that's just part of it. So
yeah, like right now my team works with Scala, and I have never coded in Scala before, so I went on Udemy and got some courses, and I'm currently learning it, and I see them like talking about it. So just watch the videos. I attend their meetings whenever they're going through code, even though it looks like gibberish to me. I'm like, this is how you learn, just by going out of your way to take the courses and put the time in to learn it. So
Cool. Hello. I actually have one question. So, as y'all may already know, we have Code Quantum coming up this weekend. Code Quantum is a hackathon, and we just wanted to ask y'all, for anyone who doesn't have any experience, or for those who do you suggest these students to participate in these coding competitions such as Code Quantum? And if so, are these things that students can put on their resume?
Yes, 100%. I always look for that when I'm looking at a resume. I want to see, obviously, your experience, your education, your programming languages and skills, projects, and hackathons. Like, it looks great. And again, I think kind of talked a little bit about this. If you don't have a lot of experience, or maybe you're starting out, that imposter syndrome is creeping in, a hackathon is a great place to go and to, be with other people who are probably in the very same boat as you are. Maybe it's their first time doing it. It can be intimidating, but you got to jump in, and I highly encourage you to do it and take advantage. And just the more and more you do it, the more and more comfortable you'll get.
any coding experience is good experience.
Yes, definitely agree.
Absolutely.
And then you get to meet really cool people.
Yeah, and it's fun. And it looks like you guys have an awesome like Halloween themed event, which I love. So it sounds like it's going to be a super blast.
Sweet. Well, it looks like it's 4 p.m. right about now. So I just want to say thank you so much for coming, HEB. Thank you for all of this swag and merchandise that y'all gave us. For those who just joined, feel free to stop by and grab some stuff. It's free. And yeah, once again, thank you so much, HEB, for tuning in. We really appreciate it, and we hope to keep on working. So if we could please give a round of applause for our speakers.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you. And we will be at the career fair on Saturday at Code Quantum. So stop by and you can chat with us one-on-one.
Sounds great. Thank you so much. All right,
right,
we'll see y'all
bye.
soon. All right, bye.